you suck at chess. Why? Because you don't focus on the right stuff during your games. That makes a difference between a strong chess player and an average one. In this video, I'm gonna show you what exactly an international master focuses on during a real chess game. Because once you shift your perspective and focus on the right stuff, you immediately are gonna become a much stronger chess player. What's up, chess player, and welcome to the Journey to Grandmaster, the place where you can improve every single aspect of your chess game. I am playing against the London system. I'm gonna explain you my entire decision-making process because it's so important to focus on the right stuff when you are playing the game. That's the difference between playing a fantastic game of chess and just losing miserably. So, London, I hate this opening, I hate playing against it, I hate playing it for myself because it's such a boring opening. I mean, you are just hoping to survive here, you play e3, c3, knight f3, and then nothing interesting happens. But I'm gonna make it my task in this game to create something fancy. Okay, he actually plays knight c3. That one I like more in terms of creating an interesting game, because it's called the Jet Baba London, it has some active ideas, it's not like white just wants to sit there and hope for a draw. This is the type of London I hate. But this one is okay. So I'm gonna play knight to d7 here, and I'm gonna prepare some central breaks, like e5 or c5. My opponent goes for knight f3. So the first thing to focus throughout the game is always on creating your counterplay. You never should just sit there and make random moves, even if it's good moves. Like, you absolutely must focus on the development in the opening, develop every single one of your pieces. But still, if you do it without a clear idea where you're going, then you're gonna get into trouble. So I want here to create my counterplay. I want to play c5 so that, for example, if he plays d5, the diagonal is gonna get opened. That would help to make my bishop active. He plays e3 though, a more solid approach, but here I have this move queen to a5 and I still want to apply some pressure on his position, maybe play knight to e4. Now I have to play faster in this game because I only have 10 minutes and there is no increment at this point. I already have only 8. So I'm gonna try to continue my idea and play a6. Yes, on the one hand, you might say that it's quite a risky strategy because I'm not really developing my king side, my king is still in the center, but this type of position, it's pretty solid, so I hope I can get away with it. The main thing is that you have your plan. Either it's gonna bring all of your pieces as fast as possible into the game and then play, or try to do something from the very beginning if you know that can be a right thing. You don't want to really improvise something like that because you're breaking those main principles, and you only should do it for a very good reason. Okay, he actually takes on c5. Do I play b4? I guess you can play c6, but that doesn't seem like a problem for me. And if he goes somewhere with the knight, then I can take. Because what I don't like, if I take immediately, he has a3, and then, yeah, he threatens b4, and I cannot play b4 anymore. So let me do that. Let me play b4 myself, not wasting too much time. By the way, he can play knight d5. This is something I haven't really thought about. Yeah, knight d5 is annoying. But maybe I have knight e4 in that variation. Yeah, he goes back, but that's fine. Now I can even play knight e4. No, knight e4 is too risky. Queen d5. I'm gonna just take with the knight because that's the most active way to go. Although I have to be careful with moves like a3, but I have rook b8 just to deal with it. Anyway, I want also to bring my bishop to the long diagonal, and that part of the board is so great for me. Castle. So once again, having your counterplay, having a clear plan in terms of what you want to achieve is essential in chess. Here I really want to play knight e4, because now in case of queen d5 I have bishop b7 with the tempo. Otherwise I'm just winning time, so let me do that. I'm also grabbing so much space, like the center is always the most important part of the game, of the board. You have to focus on it. Okay, now it's finally time for me to develop those pieces. I have, yeah, very stable position there, so I just want to put my bishop on g7, where it's going to be a great piece. He can play a3, yeah, he's doing that, but I'm thinking I can just play b3, right? He cannot take, and I'm not allowing him to open up the a file and activate the rook. Otherwise, the bishop is still coming, and so far it feels like a fantastic opening for me, to be honest. You achieve that by being as active as possible, but still making reasonable moves. Don't play hope chess when you're just making weirdly looking moves with one or two moves hope, like just please blunder something, my dear opponent. No, this is something I want you to avoid in your games. Instead, I really want you to have this nice and logical play. You focus on the center, you focus on creating your counterplay, and you make your every single move with a concrete idea. Okay, I like what my opponent is doing actually. He wants to play bishop f3, somehow exchange my active pieces, so maybe I take on d2 and play bishop. Yeah, I like it. I take on d2 and I play bishop b7. My opponent is playing very fast, I have to say. He's 2250, very strong player, but not. I don't like how he plays this opening at all, because look at this knight on d1. It literally has 0 moves to go. Both of my bishops are very active. Yeah, he plays f3 with an idea to play e4. I like this plan. I like that finally he thinks about doing something active, something useful. Can't really stop it. I can play d5 though. Maybe I should play d5. That would stop his plan entirely. It's always essential. One of the first questions you must always focus on during your chess game. What is my opponent's idea? Like always and always think about it. What he wants to achieve, what he's dreaming of, what he's planning, what he's threatening, and you always should try to understand first whether it's dangerous for you, because maybe he wants to play, I don't know, g4, but you don't want to stop it because it's a completely okay thing for you. But if he does something that seems maybe not necessarily threatening, but annoying for you, then, and you have a good way to stop it, then maybe you should. But it should also be a useful move at the same time for you, because if d5 would weaken my position too much, then I don't want to do that. Okay, he wants to play bishop knight to d3 and exchange more stuff, but okay, I really have to finish my development anyway, bring my rooks to the center, so let's see. I understand that eventually if he's gonna stabilize, exchange a pair of pieces, then this b3 pawn might become a weakness, so I really have to be careful with that. So far so good. Maybe I had this move e5 and e4, now that I'm thinking about it, because that would once again limit his potential. He cannot go with his knight to d3. Rook c1. Yeah, now I have another chance to do that. I guess I'm ready for it. Let's play e5. This is the most active move. You have to play in the center. Yeah, the drawback is I played rook to d8 before. I either have to play f6. I like the move f6 though, because it makes sure that my position is solid in the center, and some ideas like bishop h6 are possible. But now I'm noticing that he can play knight g4 there, which is quite annoying. Okay, for now, e4 is not a problem. c4 maybe though. He's on his agenda. How do I stop c4? Maybe I just return my queen for now, because it has done its job on a5. I want to improve its position. Now my opponent cannot play c4. So you see how I'm focusing on what my opponent's idea is. It's essential not to allow him to free himself and open up the position and create problems for me. Okay, now I can just play knight to e6. When your opponent doesn't have enough space, you don't want to help him. You don't want to exchange his pieces, and then he wouldn't have any problems like that. And now, look at those pieces. They are just having too little space for all of that, and that's a huge problem. Yeah, bishop f2 though, that's quite a good thing. But I can also play bishop h6, and e4 is still not a move, hopefully. Although not necessarily. Yeah, e4 I can just... Oh, wait, this is so complicated. Okay, I believe in the end of the long variations, the e4 pawn would be hanging, and that would help me. I'm gonna just win a pawn. Okay, he plays rook e1, but maybe I just play e4. What do you think about that? Or d4? Okay, e4 is great, e4 is great. If I play e4, somehow it's a little bit simpler for him to survive. Although he almost has no moves. Ah, maybe knight f4. Yeah, knight f4, because if I exchange, then he's opening up his bishop. Okay, I agree. e4, takes. Yeah. Maybe I wait for now because he doesn't really have any ways to improve, and I want to bring my last piece into the game. So always bring all of your forces into the battlefield. This is like the golden principle that if you follow, you immediately become so much stronger in chess. Okay, I have only 3 minutes on time. It's all good, but I really have to speed up. Otherwise, I'm gonna get into trouble because there is absolutely no increments. If I want to win a game, I have to care about that. Big thank you to the sponsor of this video, the Chestnut company, which is providing this beautiful Chestnut Evo board for me for the purposes of this analysis. It's extremely useful because you can just analyze all of your games, all of the positions, and save it in the PGN formats to take a look later, which you can never do with a simple board. It has so many interesting and useful functions. I have made a complete review about it, and if you want to take advantage of the special offer and get a huge discount and buy one of the Chestnut products, this is just one of them. They have different ones to offer you depending on your preferences. So if you're interested, just use the link in the description to take advantage of this amazing offer and get a huge discount. Okay, now it's time for e4. Not sure, or d4. I don't know. Maybe let's make sure that my queen is safe. 2 minutes and 50 seconds, so that it's not there along this diagonal, and then I'm gonna play d4. Let's see. Okay, now my b3 pawn is hanging. But let's play d4 anyway, because I'm threatening to take, and he's going to be under attack multiple times, so that should be fine. And time becomes a critical point here. And he's not really like thinking about the moves, he's making it so fast, which is making my job much more difficult because I wanted to explain you more ideas, but I just don't have any time for that. But now this pawn on e3 is really pinned, and I'm threatening to take it. Okay. But I can just take, right? Because the rook is hanging and the bishop on f2 is hanging. If he takes my rook, I have pawn takes with a check. Very important intermezzo. Always start with the check. This is gonna help you to find most of the nice opportunities, and also if you think about your opponent's checks, it's gonna help you to avoid 99% of blunders. Checks, then you continue with captures, and then with creating threats. Threats is basically when you attack one of the pieces, or you're just threatening to do something dangerous on your very next move. For example, my opponent plays queen b3. I always ask myself first, what is my opponent's idea, which is attacking my knight on e6, so I have to deal with it. Now I have some interesting ideas. Maybe queen a7 check, maybe knight d4. Let me play knight d4, because it's centralized and that cannot be bad. Because, yeah, somehow this spin is a little bit annoying. Okay, he takes. I'm blundering rook e8 there. A very typical idea. Because, yeah, I'm low on time, but I hope it's not a big deal. Or maybe it's a big deal. So I have to play king f7 anyway. Now he plays rook takes d8, and my queen is pinned. But I do get... Okay, he takes here, that's not a problem. Yeah, I don't understand the strategy of my opponent. He has to wait, to think a little bit, because this queen d5 just destroys his chances. He could have taken my rook instead, and he just resigns. I mean, think for a second. Use your time, please. So many low-rated players are just playing too fast. Slow down and think about your opportunities. So let me show it to you. In the final position here, this queen is pinned. So he has to slow down and think what kind of opportunities he has. First of all, checks, captures, and threats. Queen takes d5 is the only check. He has made it, but it's just a bad move. The point of checks, captures, and threats method is not that you see a check, you make a check. No, you start considering your options from it. It's like the first candidate move you consider. But if it doesn't work, you move on. You think, okay, what about the captures if I don't have any other checks? Well, I can also take this rook on d8. And this creates a huge problem for black, because ideal move would be just queen takes d8 back. But I cannot do that. The queen is pinned. So I absolutely have to take this queen, either with the knight or with the queen. I guess either way we are achieving kind of the same position, where I'm gonna have two pieces for the rook, but he has those passers there. I mean, potential passer here, because he has 2 against 1, and also I have a weakness here. He can play rook d7, even pushing my king back or winning yet another pawn. I don't know, either way, it's not a simple position at all. We'll have a nice endgame, and according to my clock, I mean, I would be definitely in time trouble, so that would have been an interesting game. But because my opponent is not really taking enough time to calculate his variations, he has just lost immediately. That's a pity. Don't do it in your games. In this video, I share an amazing opening that you can play as black and beat absolutely everyone. I show in real time how I use it to beat a strong 2100 rated opponent.